In Japanese history, the samurai were a class of highly skilled warriors that emerged after the Tokugawa reforms in AD 646. Samurai were originally known as bushi in Japan. The term samurai only appeared in the early 10th century, which was used to refer to aristocratic warriors. Samurai used a variety of weapons, but their primary weapon was a sword, known as a chokuto. With the Meiji reforms at the end of the 19th century, the samurai were abolished as a distinct class and replaced with a national army resembling a Western nation.
Who is the greatest samurai of all time? In the world of samurai warriors, one name shines above all others. Meet Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai of all time. Musashi was a true master of the sword, winning over 60 duels without ever tasting defeat. His skills were unmatched, and his bravery was unrivaled. Unlike other samurais who mainly used one sword, Musashi developed a distinctive two-sword fighting style. This technique involved using both the katana and the wakizashi simultaneously, a method that was revolutionary and highly effective at the time. Musashi faced many warriors, but his most famous duel was against Sasaki Kojiro, a renowned samurai swordsman known for his drying pole longsword technique. This duel wasn't just a fight, it was a clash of titans. On April 13, 1612, on the remote island of Ganryujima, Musashi defeated Kojiro using a wooden sword he carved from an oar, proving that strategy could overcome raw power and cementing his reputation as the greatest samurai of all time.
Yasuke, the African warrior who became a samurai in feudal Japan, is one of the most remarkable figures in history. In the late 1500s, Yasuke arrived in Japan alongside Portuguese traders. Standing over 6 feet tall, he quickly drew the attention of the Japanese warlord Oda Nobunaga, who had never seen anyone like him. Nobunaga was captivated by Yasuke's strength and intelligence. Recognizing his potential, Nobunaga invited Yasuke into his service and trained him as a samurai. Yasuke quickly earned respect on the battlefield, fighting bravely in Nobunaga's campaigns. He was known for his loyalty and became a trusted warrior in one of Japan's most powerful clans.
In 1579, an African man arrived in Japan. His name, Yasuke. Yasuke was brought as a servant, but his height, strength, and bravery caught the attention of Oda Nobunaga, one of Japan's most powerful warlords. Nobunaga was so impressed he made Yasuke a samurai, a rank few outsiders ever achieved. Yasuke fought alongside Nobunaga during Japan's chaotic Sengoku period, becoming a legend in his own right. The incredible true story of Japan's African samurai.
Japan's samurai were more than just warriors with swords. They were a symbol of honor, discipline, and a way of life that shaped an entire nation. But where did they come from, and how did they disappear? Let's fly through the entire history of samurai and feudal Japan, in under few minutes. Our story begins around the late 1100s. The imperial court in Kyoto was losing control, and powerful clans like the Minamoto and Taira battled for dominance. The winner? Minamoto no Yoritomo, who became Japan's first shogun in 1192, launching the Kamakura shogunate, and with it, the age of the samurai. Samurai weren't just fighters. They followed Bushido, the way of the warrior. Think of it as the Jedi Code meets medieval chivalry. Loyalty, bravery, and honor were everything. Breaking it could mean one thing: seppuku, ritual suicide to restore honor. Japan wasn't a peaceful place. The Ashikaga shogunate took over, but soon chaos erupted. Welcome to the Sengoku period, over a century of war between rival daimyo, warlords. Out of the bloodshed rose 3 legends: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and finally Tokugawa Ieyasu, who unified Japan in 1603. The Tokugawa shogunate brought 250 years of peace, but also isolation. Samurai became bureaucrats more than warriors, still respected, still feared, but their swords, mostly ceremonial. Japan shut its doors to the world until the 1850s. When Commodore Perry arrived with U.S. warships, everything changed. Western influence, modern armies, and the Meiji Restoration of 1868 ended feudal Japan. Samurai lost their privileges, and by the 1870s, the sword was outlawed. Their era was over. But their legacy, immortal. From battlefield legends to cultural icons, the samurai shaped Japan's soul. And though they may be gone, their spirit lives on, in movies, martial arts, and the idea that honor is worth more than power. Subscribe for more history in minutes. Until next time, sayonara.
In feudal Japan, there was a young samurai named Kenta. He had trained for years in the art of swordsmanship and was known throughout the land as a skilled warrior. But despite his talents, Kenta began to feel discontent with the rigid social hierarchy of samurai-dominated society. One day, Kenta stumbled upon a group of Western traders who had come to Japan to sell their wares. He was fascinated by their modern clothing, technology, and way of life, and soon began to wonder if there was a better way for Japan to move forward. Kenta's curiosity eventually led him to join a group of rebels who were fighting to overthrow the shogunate and bring about the Meiji Restoration. When the new government took power in 1868, Kenta was ecstatic. Finally, Japan could move forward and embrace modernity. However, as the Meiji government began to enact sweeping reforms, Kenta realized that change was not always easy or straightforward. One of the most controversial reforms was the abolition of the samurai class, which had been the backbone of Japanese society for centuries. Kenta felt a deep sense of loss at the dismantling of the social hierarchy that he had grown up with. But as he watched the new Japan take shape, Kenta began to see the benefits of the Meiji Restoration.
In 1701, Japan's samurai code was put to the ultimate test. Lord Asano Naganori drew his sword on a corrupt official named Kira. For breaking court protocol, he was forced to commit seppuku, ritual suicide. His samurai lost their master. By law, they were now ronin. For nearly 2 years they waited. They scattered across the country, pretending to live ordinary lives, but they were planning revenge. On December 14th, 1702, they attacked Kira's mansion in the dead of night. They killed him, then marched to Asano's grave and laid his severed head before it. The shogunate sentenced them to death, but allowed them to die.